The world jolts as news breaks. Seismic activity has been detected near Iran's Natanz facility, a site already shrouded in global suspicion and intrigue. The alert flashes across screens, instantly commanding the attention of millions. Is it a natural earthquake, or could it be something far more deliberate, a signal or a warning sent in the shadows? In newsrooms from New York to Tokyo, analysts scramble for answers, eyes glued to satellite feeds and urgent data streams. Every new detail is dissected, every anomaly debated, as the world's media races to make sense of the unfolding crisis. The world holds its breath, caught once again in the familiar chilling drama of the nuclear age. In living rooms and city streets, anxiety ripples outward, uniting strangers in a moment of shared uncertainty. Every tremor, every ambiguous statement from a world leader reminds us of the razor's edge we walk, where words and actions can tip the balance between peace and catastrophe. On the ground near Isfahan, the Earth's brief tremor sends political shockwaves that will last for years. Local residents feel the uncertainty firsthand, while officials scramble to assess the true nature of the event. Was it a test, an accident, a covert strike, or something else entirely? Theories multiply as experts debate the possibilities, each scenario carrying its own risks. The questions themselves become weapons in a global chess match, where every move is scrutinized and every silence is loaded with meaning. Diplomats convene emergency sessions, military commanders review protocols, and the public feels a moment of unease before life resumes, changed, if only subtly, by the knowledge of how close disaster can come. This single event, whether real or rumored, exposes the paradox of nuclear technology, immense promise for progress, yet the shadow of ultimate destruction always looming. The line between peaceful nuclear energy and devastating weapons is dangerously thin, and history has shown how quickly it can be crossed. For decades, nations have balanced their growing energy needs against the imperative to prevent the spread of the world's deadliest weapons, walking a tightrope between innovation and annihilation. The story of nuclear power is a story of ambition, fear, and survival, where the stakes could not be higher and every decision echoes through generations. Nuclear power is fire from the heart of matter, a force of nature, once unimaginable. When scientists first split the atom, they glimpsed a future of limitless, clean energy. Today, nuclear plants power millions of homes, offering energy independence and a carbon-free alternative to fossil fuels. This is the atom for peace, a tool for a sustainable future. But the same process that powers cities can destroy them. Uncontrolled fission becomes a blinding explosion, the atomic bomb. The technology to enrich uranium for power is nearly identical to that for weapons. Every nation with a reactor gains knowledge that could build a bomb. This is the dual-use dilemma. Every conversation about nuclear energy is also about nuclear weapons. The world must constantly ask, is this a power source or a threat? The promise and peril of the atom are inseparable. The challenge is to harness its benefits without unleashing its dangers. That tension shapes every nuclear debate. The story of nuclear politics begins in a quiet German laboratory in 1938, a place where the world was about to change forever. Here, scientists achieved the unimaginable. They split the uranium atom, unlocking a force hidden deep within matter itself. Lisa Meitner and Otto Frisch, two brilliant physicists, realized the true significance of this experiment: nuclear fission. They understood that this process could unleash energy on a scale never before seen, energy powerful enough to change the course of history. As the shadow of World War II grew, scientists across Europe grew anxious. They warned that Nazi Germany might harness this discovery to create a weapon of unimaginable destruction. Alarmed by this possibility, Albert Einstein wrote a letter to President Roosevelt. This letter set in motion the Manhattan Project, a secret race to build the atomic bomb before the Nazis could. In hidden cities like Los Alamos, the world's brightest minds worked tirelessly, driven by fear and hope, racing against time to unlock the secrets of the atom. In 1945, the Trinity test shattered the silence of the desert, turning night into day. The atomic bomb was no longer theory, it was terrifying reality. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki ended the war, but they also marked the beginning of a new era. Humanity now possessed the power to destroy itself, and the world would never be the same. After the war, the focus of global politics shifted. It was no longer just about armies or economies, but about managing the existential threat posed by nuclear weapons, a threat that could end civilization in moments. The United States' monopoly on the bomb was short-lived. Soon, the Soviet Union joined the nuclear club, and the race to control the atom began in earnest. setting the stage for decades of tension and rivalry. The rules of global politics were rewritten in the shadow of the mushroom cloud. Science was no longer just discovery, it had become the ultimate strategy, shaping the fate of nations. From that moment on, the world would never be the same. The dawn of nuclear politics had arrived, forever altering the destiny of humanity. The conclusion of World War II did not usher in an era of peace as many had hoped. Instead, it marked the beginning of the Cold War, a tense standoff between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, both heavily armed with nuclear weapons capable of unimaginable destruction. The Soviet Union's successful nuclear bomb test in 1949 shattered America's brief monopoly on nuclear power, creating a precarious balance where two rival nations held the power to obliterate each other and, potentially, the world. This led to the doctrine of mutually assured destruction, commonly known as MAD. The logic was simple yet terrifying. If both sides had the capability to retaliate after a first strike, neither would dare to initiate a nuclear war. The result was a frantic arms race, with thousands of bombs being produced and a triad of launch systems developed to ensure a guaranteed retaliatory strike, keeping the world in a constant state of tension. Living under the shadow of MAD meant enduring a life filled with constant fear and anxiety. Children practiced duck and cover drills in schools, families constructed fallout shelters, and the threat of nuclear annihilation loomed large in everyday life. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 brought the world perilously close to nuclear war. For 13 harrowing days, the specter of nuclear conflict seemed all but inevitable. Although the Cold War eventually ended, its nuclear legacy continues to cast a long shadow. Tens of thousands of nuclear weapons remain, a growing nuclear club of nations exists, and deep-seated mistrust persists among global powers. The strategies, protocols, and fears that were born during that era still shape our world today, influencing international relations and defense policies. The shadow of the Cold War lingers in every nuclear decision made by world leaders, a constant reminder of the past. While MAD may have prevented direct war between superpowers, it left us with a dangerous inheritance. A world where the threat of nuclear conflict never truly vanished. The logic of deterrence, born out of necessity during the Cold War, still rules the day, dictating military strategies and international policies. As a result, the world remains on edge, with nations constantly on alert for any sign of nuclear escalation. The threat of nuclear conflict has never truly disappeared, lurking in the background of global politics. We continue to live with the consequences of a world shaped by the doctrine of mutually assured destruction, a sobering reminder of the past and a cautionary tale for the future. The modern nuclear age's greatest challenge is the thin line between peaceful energy and military ambition. Iran insists its nuclear program is for electricity, not weapons, but the world watches with suspicion. The same centrifuges that enrich uranium for power can be reconfigured for bombs. International inspectors scrutinize every step, searching for signs of diversion. North Korea crossed the line, starting with peaceful research. It withdrew from the NPT and built a nuclear arsenal. This dual-use dilemma breeds permanent suspicion. Every new reactor is a potential threat. The world must balance the right to peaceful energy with the need for strong safeguards. A technical process in one country can become an existential threat to another. The stakes are global. The nuclear landscape is no longer just the US and Russia. China is rapidly expanding its arsenal, creating a new three-way dynamic and strategic instability. India and Pakistan, both nuclear-armed, remain locked in a dangerous rivalry over Kashmir. Israel maintains nuclear ambiguity, adding complexity to the Middle East. For Pakistan, the bomb is an equalizer. For China, a symbol of superpower status. For Russia, a guarantee of great power. The multipolar nuclear world is unpredictable, with more fingers on more buttons. Communication between new nuclear rivals is less reliable than during the Cold War. The rise of new nuclear states inspires others, risking a domino effect of proliferation. The global game is now high-stakes poker, not chess. Bluffing and miscalculation are more dangerous than ever. In Vienna, the IAEA acts as the world's nuclear watchdog, promoting safe, peaceful nuclear use. Under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, inspectors verify that nuclear material isn't diverted to weapons. They install cameras, seal equipment, and test for traces of undeclared activity. When the IAEA certifies a program as peaceful, it builds trust. When denied access, it raises alarms. But the IEA has no army. Its power is technical expertise and reporting to the UN Security Council. If a country blocks inspectors or leaves the NPT, the IEA is largely powerless. Its effectiveness depends on member cooperation and political will. Iraq and Iran show the limits of inspection. Watchdogs can sound the alarm but can't enforce action. Transparency is vital but only a tool. Ultimately, policing the atom depends on diplomacy and global commitment. The Cold War's nightmare was superpower exchange. Today, it's nuclear terrorism. Terrorist groups aren't deterred by MAD, they seek chaos, not survival. The real threat is not stolen bombs, but stolen materials. Enough for a crude device or a dirty bomb. A dirty bomb wouldn't create a mushroom cloud but could contaminate a city and cause mass panic. Securing radioactive materials worldwide is a monumental challenge. New technologies, hypersonic missiles, AI, cyber warfare, add fresh dangers, compressing decision times and increasing risk. Could a cyber attack or AI error trigger a mistaken launch? The old rules of deterrence are being rewritten by new threats. Nuclear technology is a high-stakes gamble, offering energy, prestige, and independence, but also immense risk. Every new nuclear program, even peaceful, can trigger regional arms races and instability. Accidents like Chernobyl and Fukushima show the environmental and health dangers. The ultimate risk is proliferation. Each new bomb alters the balance of power and emboldens aggression. More nuclear states mean higher odds of use, by accident, miscalculation, or intent. We can't uninvent nuclear technology or put the genie back in the bottle. The only path forward is understanding the stakes. This isn't just for generals and presidents, it affects everyone. Navigating the future requires moving beyond fear to informed understanding. The hidden rules of the atom govern us all. Our survival depends on vigilance, diplomacy, and wisdom. The stakes could not be higher.